Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Joseph and this is the Wings of Freedom. So today we'll be going over some of the pairs we can look out for this coming week. Last week was a bit slow for us. We didn't get much entry opportunities. We had a trade, a projection, I think it was on NZD JPY. Yes, we were projecting this. It played out, but unfortunately, I personally did not take it because I wasn't on the chart when it played out. But I marked it up, but I wanted to enter with a market execution. I had this profit and loss here, my buy setup, or rather my sell setup. But unfortunately, I wasn't around to market execute, so I did not take it. So for this week, let's go over what we have on the market this week and see where we can take advantage of the opportunities. So a while back, let me clear the charts. I did a video on gold talking about the fact that we have to be very careful about gold and not being too anxious to buy it, especially now that the price is still a bit indecisive, especially after it has hit 3,000 ounce. So this is the daily time frame. Let's start with the weekly. So what do we have on the weekly? So as from last week, price has hit 3,000. So we are still keeping an eye on this figure 3,000. It is very significant. Let me make that better. It is incredibly significant. So let's break down the chart. Price, this is the upward momentum trend line. Price broke it here and is retesting that exactly to the peak of that 3,000. This is the highest gold has ever been. Right now, for me, there is no opportunity yet. I would prefer price to come deep into these key zones, and we look for the bounce when price gets here. Anything other than that is not an opportunity that I am interested in. So what it means is that for gold, we should wait for price to come into these areas and look for continuous buy. If price violates this place, violates this structure, we cannot look for the retest for a sell. So for gold, I think it's very clear. We have to wait for price to get here and look for the buys. For price to come down here, violate this momentum line, violate this key level, and look for the sells. So let me see on the 1 hour. There's still really nothing. There's really nothing here. Yeah, still the same thing. It's really nothing. If you are going to be selling, say you want to sell this market here, you are going against the trend. It makes no sense. Why are you selling it when the market is incredibly bullish? This is a low probability setup. So let's check out Bitcoin. Let's see what we have on Bitcoin. This is let me go to a blank chart, BTC USD. Let's open a blank chart for Bitcoin. Just open Coinbase. So let me clear the chart. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Let's see what we have on Bitcoin. Interesting. Like for my previous videos, please, I have dropped a lot of videos and I think you can gain a lot by going and rewatching those previous videos so you can have a sense of how I trade and how I look at the market. But every time I open the chart, I like to break down the chart again. So if you watch me over time, you will begin to understand how I see the market and how you can take advantage of the market also. This is the weekly time frame. From weekly time frame, quickly we can see this is the trend line, very clear on the weekly. That price is currently the momentum line for this weekly time frame. Then we have this key level here. Very simple. Good. Now what do we have again? This is on the daily time frame. Price has formed a double top here. Interesting. Double top is a reversal signal. Very powerful. Price now has broken the neckline of this. So I think a lot of trading opportunities was around this place upon this retest. So now where are we now currently on price? Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Price is still on the intermediate level, price is still bearish on the daily and the 4-hour, even though on the overall time frame it is bullish. But I'm talking of, say, an intraday scalping setup. Price is bearish. So what do we look at here? So for now, there is really nothing to analyze here. All we just have to do is wait for price to come into some of these key levels and look for the sells. Price to come here and sell. Forgive the bad drawings. I'm not a very good artist. So we can also look at these trend lines. It's just, I feel like for me to add this, it's just as if I'm forcing the price. There's really nothing here. I think price has to get up here. If it gets here and bounces, say price gets here, retest this and drops, valid, still valid. So that is what it is for Bitcoin. Let's still wait for further price action. And this is what can develop this week. So all these things I'm showing is pairs that I believe can materialize or develop this week. Let's look at AUD USD, Australian dollar USD. So let's open a blank chart just so that I can keep things clean. On the weekly time frame, what do we have here? For me, I just recognize that this is a low. This is a low. Why I recognize it is because these are probable place where price can always bounce from. And we have this area. I will delete this one because price is interacting from this one here already. Okay, let's, on the daily time frame, let's mark out our key levels. The reason why I have not marked out anything for the trend line is because there's no clear momentum line stroke trend line on the daily time frame. Now, this is where things get a bit interesting. This is also a key level for me here. This is also a key level for me. So the problem here, the thing here is, as soon as price hit this extreme level, it began to reverse. Now, upon this reversal, we can now ask ourselves, where can we look for an opportunity to join this reversal? Now, if you look on the daily time frame, which we still are, watch closely. Price came here, formed an intermediate high, low, a high, low. It formed a double bottom, reverse here. So what I'm basically saying is, on the daily time frame, we can look at this small level as a possible reaction point for a short-term trade. The reason why it is a short-term trade is this. Price did not form a higher high. Look at this high. Look at this high. Price did not form a higher high. Rather, price formed a lower high, or is forming. Upon break of this high is confirmed a lower high. So, from experience, I know that price can still give us a kind of bounce, especially because we are at the low of the 4-hour time frame. So we can look for that trade on the, personally, I will go down to the 30 minutes first. before I get down to the 15 minutes to spot the trade. And one of my best way of entering these things is through a counter trend line. But the counter trend line has to have an information. I also use things like divergence, which is currently forming currently. So upon a break of the counter trend line, I have a way I look at the counter trend line. Counter trend line for me is not just drawing lines anywhere. It has I have my set. I will make another video on that. So for this currently, if price breaks this, there is a high probability that we can also test some of these points, especially these gaps that we have here. Price can still come up, break it, and retest these zones. We have, if you understand supply and demand, I don't it's not my major strategy, but I understand it very well. It was the first strategy I learned in the market. So you understand that this is untested zones that price can still return to. So this is a high probability setup if price breaks it and maintains this low. We can seek for we can look for price to go further. But remember, the stop loss must cover all these lows. Very, very important. So I'll just put it at, say, 30 pips stop loss. I go for a 1:2 first. I don't go more than that. That's my initial target, basically. So AUD/USD is one of our pairs that we are actively looking at for this week.